Welcome back to the Ball Oasis show, the seventh or eighth installment at this point. Before we get into anything today, we would be remiss if we didn't bring up the news of the day. Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, somber news in the basketball world as NBA legend Bill Russell peacefully passed away at the age of 88. Um, just a pioneer of the game. Um, on the court and off the court. Of course, on the court with his 11 championships and his dominance throughout the 60s with those Boston Celtics teams. And off the court with what he did, just pushing the league forward with the civil rights movement and the Players Association. Um, but Russell's truly a pioneer, man. And over the past couple of years, I've been really pleased with how the league has kind of kept him involved and made sure people don't forget about him or his
Yeah.
impact, keeping him. We saw the NBA 75th anniversary team this year, him being kind of front and center of that, with him being one of the pioneers of the league.
Hmm.
Um, just rest in peace to the legend, man. Rest in peace to Bill Russell.
Right.
Lived a great life, 88 years, and has been truly influential on the game and on so many things past that.
Yeah, I agree. Said it really well. Um, Sad to hear about it. What is it, 88? I think. Right.
88 years of
88.
age.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a sad day. He will be missed, surely, especially around the NBA and a lot of players and legends.
Yeah. I expect the Boston Celtics to have a very emotional, heartfelt memorial for him. Their first home game this season, maybe even before that,
Yeah.
with however they choose to commemorate him. Rest in peace to the legend Bill Russell. Um, no real buzzing news around the NBA still, so we're back with another fun segment today. We kind of ended the last episode, um, kind of having these 1v1s, picking the better player, in our opinions. And so that kind of inspired us to bring that back for a full segment today. Um, this is going to be titled "The Great Debate Episode," and I know that I've been on record in the past saying that this channel is not for debate. This channel is not for our takes or pushing agendas or anything like that. Um, with all that being said, I think in a mature space, a debate can be a good thing. We see all these debates on ESPN, and they're scripted. If you didn't know, these debates are scripted. They're for entertainment purposes, for
Yeah.
ratings. Um, but here with these debates today, we have a random pool of players. We've divided them up into three tiers. We've got the superstars, the all stars, and the secondary stars. Um, I think about 30 players in total, about 10 per tier. We have no idea going into this who we're going to debate for. Their players are going to be picked at random, so no bias. These debates are meant to be made with no bias, kind of like a debate club in school. Um, each have a minute to debate for our player, um, and then we'll each have a 30-second rebuttal to kind of push back on anything that the other person has said. Um, so this should be really fun. This idea was courtesy of the Through the Wire podcast. They did it last off season. I thought they did a really good job with that. So we're gonna try it out here. We're gonna try it out here and see how it goes. Um, Jacob, you ready to get into it?
Yeah. I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Let me take a sip before because we're gonna be saying a lot this episode, and things might get a little heated. But it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun, of course. Here, like I
Right.
said, we're gonna try our best to keep biases out of it, and just have a fun time debating. At the end of the day, we may feel differently about these players than what we're saying on the
Saying
show.
yeah.
So, without further ado, Jacob, do you want to start with the tier one players to kind of start off with a bang, or should we start off with a lower tier? Do you think?
Mm, I'll say we could do the lower tier.
Okay, we'll start out with tier three. these are the all-star players. These are not superstars, not secondary stars, but players who are still all-stars and kind of exist in that space. So there are 12 players here who are in this tier, and they're going to be selected at random. I got a random number generator here. So I'll pick for Jacob first. Jacob, you are debating for Donovan Mitchell. You're debating for Donovan Mitchell, and I will be debating for Zach LaVine.
So I'll let you go first.
Okay.
See how it works.
I was going to bring the coin back out again, but I'll go first. I'll go first. I'll kind of start us out.
Okay.
So we've got a timer here, 1 minute. And if we go a little bit over, it's fine. If we're finishing a thought or whatever, that's just kind of the kind of where we want to sit around a minute for each debate. So let me get a breath real quick before I start this. Okay. Starting the debate in 3, 2, 1. Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine in the past has been a guy who was considered just a dunker as an athleticism led player in Minnesota. Then we see him get traded to Chicago. He has blossomed into a true secondary star. This is a guy who can go out and average 26, 27 points any given season. He can get you 30 a night if he needs to. He can be the best player on the floor. He can score from anywhere. His three-point shooting has drastically improved. His mid-range game is nice, maybe not comparable to his teammate DeMar DeRozan, but it's still very, very nice. And, of course, we know what he can do at the rim. We know he suffered with injuries, but he's still super explosive at the rim. And his playmaking has got a lot better. He's had to defer to DeMar DeRozan, so I think that he thrives in that secondary star role. He was in the playoffs last year. Led his team to the playoffs alongside DeMar DeRozan. It was just a really good complimentary player. Zach LaVine, timeout.
Okay. So now I got 30 seconds to kind of say what I disagree.
You have your minute debate about Donovan Mitchell,
and
then I'll go 30 seconds, and then you'll go 30 seconds.
All right. Let's see. All right. I'll start in 3, 2, 1. All right. Donovan Mitchell. An elite scorer. He can score from anywhere on the court. You know, his shooting, he could really finish well. I think he's improved his shooting a lot over the last few years. He can take over a game if need be. We've seen that in the playoffs before, I believe, against Jamal Murray. Finishing at the rim, he could make a little bit, in my opinion. He could make a little bit, but it's just his scoring from anywhere. Man, it's so good to me. Elite, mid-range three. I think his three can improve, but I know finishing for sure. He's, in my opinion, really good finisher. I know he might have stepped back from what he used to be doing. Good passer. He can lead a team to an extent too, I believe. Trying to think what else. It's just an elite scorer, man. Defense, his defense is improving lately over the last few years. He's been known as not a really good defender. I think it's improving especially the last few years watching him. And I just think all around Donovan Mitchell is just special. All right, minute.
That was the minute.
Had a little mind blank for a minute. For a minute.
This is the warm-up round. We're just getting started. All right, so I have my 30-second rebuttal here, starting in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, everything that you said about Donovan Mitchell is true. What I think is his biggest detriment is just his size. He's a 6'1" shooting guard. And being a 6'1" shooting guard, you have to have a specific set of teammates catered around you to be able to maximize your talent. And if Donovan Mitchell is being catered to in that way, I don't think that a team can win with him being a number one option, especially not at this point. So that's where I sit on Donovan Mitchell. That's time.
Okay. So basically, even if like what you said is true about like Zach LaVine, I just kind of say what downfalls it could be, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just how you think that you should respond in a debate.
Okay.
Even if you may not believe it, for the sake of debate.
All right, I can do that. All right. 3, 2. All right, Zach LaVine. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think his shooting can improve a little bit more. Obviously, we know how his finishing is. His playmaking can improve a little bit as well. I think his injuries, I guess, maybe always lingered a little bit. So him being a number one option, you could definitely see. But with injuries and just how he plays, I know he injured this past last year. He got injured. I think as a number one option, it's kind of hard to put him as that number one. So I guess behind DeMar, it's actually reasonable. Last time.
You didn't even bring up the biggest thing with Zach LaVine too.
What, his defense?
His defense is awful. He's terrible in defense.
Yeah, see, I was gonna bring that up. It just 30 seconds. I was trying to get as much out as I could about his offense right there.
Yeah, that was a good warm-up round though. That was a good round to begin.
I see how it is now. Kind of, I can work with it.
Y'all can kind of decide in the comments who y'all think may win these rounds. We don't really have a winner or loser here that we're really. That's not the goal here. But if y'all want to choose that, y'all can. Round 2, I guess we'll move up to tier 2. There are 10 players in tier 2. So I'll pick for me first this time. And since I led off the last round, Jacob, you will be leading off this next round. So I will be debating for. Let's see. I will be debating for Paul George. Interesting. I can do that. I can do that one. And Jacob will be debating for. Ooh, this might be a good one. Jacob will be debating for Devin Booker. Okay. Right. We kind of had this one in the last episode. So Jacob, you if you need a second to collect your thoughts, you go ahead and do that. This should be close. This should be a good debate. I'm excited to see where this one goes.
Okay.
Paul George versus Devin Booker.
Devin Booker. All right. There you go. So I can work with something. All right. Devin Booker, another elite scorer. Man, he can drop. I think he averaged 26, 27 last year. He can give you 30, 40 a night. I think we've seen him get 70 in the past. His shooting is extremely well. Mid-range, he can do a little post fade, high mid-range post fade, shoot anywhere. He can drive. Just lead the team. He can lead the team to an extent as well. But I think he's just scoring. Defensive has improved too over the last few years. I know he's not one of the best defenders that you'd want to match him up against you, I think. But it has improved since early in his career. But the scoring, he could finish mid-range. I think his three-pointers took a step up last few years as well. So is his mid-range. He could play make. I think he could pass the wall. I think he's an underrated passer. He could definitely be an underrated passer, especially if he draws so much attention on offense. Get double teams. If he can read where everybody is, like a playmaker, he can get that off and get an extra bucket or two. That's a minute.
Okay. That's a good little start. I'll start my debate for Paul George in 3, 2, 1. We have a guy here in Paul George. Kind of like we talked about in the last episode, his two-way ability is truly special. On the offensive end, he's a guy that can go out and get you 26, 27 points a game if he needs to. May not be a need for that alongside Kawhi Leonard, but he can do that. And of course, on the defensive end, he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He's got almost a 7-foot wingspan. And as a 6'8" shooting guard, he can guard multiple positions fairly easily. Talk about Paul George. Over the last 5 seasons or so, he has been synonymous with winning teams. You think about the OKC teams. You think about the Clipper teams when they're healthy. These teams are being looked at as contenders almost every single season. And what has been the main what's the word I'm looking for? Common thing with that. That's Paul George. Paul George has been on both of those teams, and he's been a key cog to what they do. Paul George is truly a winning player, and he gets it done on both ends. Man, I fumbled over my words. That kind of ruined me a little bit. All right, you got your 30-second rebuttal.
All right.
Dang it.
All right, Paul George. The only thing I see wrong with him is his age. His age is getting up there. He's went through a few injuries last few years. I think he's 32 years old, so you can say he's not as prime anymore. He's back in. He still can score, still play defense, but I think it's just not at that level that it once was. So I think he's kind of on the back end, just regressing just a little bit each year, even though he's still, I think he was MVP voting a few years ago. but I think he's just slowly regressing just the age factor and injuries. All right, it's time.
My rebuttal in 3 and 2 and 1. Like you said, Paul George is a guy who's been top 3 in MVP over the last few years. He's shown he can be that number 1 guy on a team. And although Devin Booker is younger, has he really shown that? The best that he's done as the key player on his team is be right outside of the playoffs. His success didn't come until Chris Paul came to the team and DeAndre Ayton kind of rose to be kind of a star level player. So with that being said, Paul George is a guy who can rise to that occasion. Devin Booker, although being in the finals, has not proven to really be able to do that on a consistent basis just yet. Time.
You counted that really well. I like that.
Yeah,
my
rebuttal was definitely a lot better
really
than
my
first round.
That rebuttal was definitely good.
I just hate that I fumbled over my words. If I hadn't fumbled over my words, and it wasn't even a word that was super key to it. I could have used a synonym for it or something, but I just wanted to use that one word.
That's my big thing too. I fumble a lot of my words. I think faster than I can talk sometimes.
Yeah, and being on a timer speeds you up. It's
right.
Like, I feel like I've only said 2 sentences, and I look down and there's only 5 seconds left. I'm like, what in the world?
Like the Zach LaVine defense thing. It's like I can't get in the fit all in there.
Right. There's so many things that we're probably leaving out that y'all probably
obvious things too. Is just trying to rush through it.
But we're on a timer. Just remember that we're on a timer. Round 3, Jacob. We're to tier 1.
Okay.
We've had the warm up rounds, and this is where the big dogs come out to play. Jacob, I'll be going first this round. So let's see who I have to debate for. There are only 8 players in this top tier who we consider superstars. You may consider more, you may consider less. But for my superstar, I will be debating for Nikola Jokic. I can do that. I can do that. Jacob will be debating for Luka Doncic. The Euros.
All right.
The Euros going against each other. Okay.
I can do this.
Yeah, this should be a pretty fun round. Let me reset my timer real fast. Collect my thoughts for a second. Breathe deep. Okay, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. We're talking about a guy, Nikola Jokic, who is the back-to-back MVP. I mean, I could stop right there and not have to say anything else. He's the back-to-back MVP. He's consistently a guy who's giving you 28 points and is close to tops in the league in rebounding. And that's not even to mention his best attribute, in my opinion, his playmaking. He is a world-class playmaker from the center position, unlike anyone we've ever seen before. The way that he manipulates offenses is unreal. The way that he can operate from any point of the court. He can operate from the three-point line. He can operate from the mid-range and down low. He has the post game to be able to bang with any big in the league. Defensively, he's much improved. Defensively, he's a force around the rim now. He's not super athletic or anything, we know, but he holds his own. He's probably a better paint defender than a rim protector, but Nikola Jokic on the defensive end is now a positive asset on a team. Mixed with his offense, it just makes him, in my opinion, one of the best players in the NBA, and it's not even close. Time.
Okay. See, Luka. Let's see what I can do with this. All right. I think I'm ready. All right, Luka Magic. Man, obviously he could finish top 3 voting any year in MVP. He could be a lot of people's number 1. He can control the pace of a game. I think his scoring is really up there. We've seen what he did last year. He can shoot from anywhere. He can drive, play make, get everybody open. Extremely good passes. Flashy passes, I guess you can say. Fancy passes. I think over the years his shooting is getting better each year. His playmaking is getting better every year. His defense has always been a big question mark for him. I think last year he really improved that, especially in the playoff. Watch him in the playoffs against Phoenix. I think he's superstar level. Just take over in the game. I think he's 23 years old, and you could already say he's top 5 in the league. It's pretty close, top 10 for sure. It's just he takes these steps every year, just getting better and better and better. He might average over 30, 34 points a game here, year or two. You never know. I just think every year is just improving so much. And as a leader, I think he's a really good leader as time.
That was good. That was good. I
I
like
had,
that you brought that up at the end.
had to throw a lot of that in there. Man,
Yeah,
a minute goes by so fast.
I know. All right, 30-second rebuttal. 3 and 2 and 1. You brought up the defense. He's young. We get it. But the defense is just a big detriment for Luka. We've seen Jokic get better on the defensive end. And it may be tough for Luka because he's defending perimeter players who are probably quicker than him. But he gets those switches off of pick and rolls. He's constantly being seeked out. And that's something that we haven't seen really be remedied yet in his young career. We've seen him being hit on defense, but there's not a real remedy for him while he's on the ball. So with that being said, I think Jokic's defense just puts him a step over Luka.
All right. Jokic, yes, defense has improved, but I think it's still always a target. I still think it's not at that level just to put him at the very top. They target him a lot, especially try to get him on guards because he's not in the best shape. If you wear him down, he gets tired. It happens on offense. You can tell on offense if he gets real tired, he's not at that. He's at an elite level, but not if he was in better shape. His playmaking, obviously, I think he still can improve shooting. It's just the in shape, the athleticism part. I just don't think he's up there yet, or able to be over Luka. All right, 30 seconds.
Okay, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good one. I think we both made good points, valid points. Man, those two are so close that it's really just your opinion who you think is better. Even though Jokic has been a 2-time MVP, I'm so high on Luka. That was a good one, though. That was a good one.
That's pretty good.
From here on out, Jacob, I think we should choose the tiers. We should take turns choosing the tiers. So I'll let you go first if you want to choose tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 to debate from.
All right. I'll say we can do tier 2.
Tier 2. Okay, we're going back to tier 2, and you are going first this time.
All right.
So, Jacob, in this round, we'll be debating for. Oh wow, there's no way. Jacob will be debating for Jimmy Butler.
I can definitely do this.
Jacob will be debating for Jimmy Butler.
It could last 2 minutes.
And I will be debating for. I'll be debating for DeMar DeRozan. Interesting.
All right, I don't even need a minute.
I was about to say, you probably have all the ammo you need. You don't even need to think about anything.
Let me stretch, get it all out. All right, Jimmy Butler, a dog, extremely good two-way player. His playmaking has improved over the years. He can lead a team. Obviously, we've seen that. He's led a team to the finals before. His shooting's gotten better lately. He in the playoffs, man, he could just take over a series in the playoffs. We've seen that. He had 40 against Boston, I think, 40 a few times last year. He just shoots up to a different level in the playoffs. Regular season, he just kind of plays out, lets everything roll by. The playoffs, it's just like energy, just right there. Just extremely high energy, dog mentality. He's not gonna let you bully him. We saw that in Minnesota. What he did to Cat and the first strings. But I just think he's just one of the better leaders in the league. I know he ain't got a ring yet, but just leadership wise, I think he can lead a team to the finals as he's already done, and to the Eastern Conference Finals a few times. But I just think his offense is improving. Defense is always going to get better, get there. I really like his offensive game. I think he's improving his 3-point shot too lately, and he's working on it now. Just a minute. It's too much to say about him. I had to just.
There was a certain passion behind that one. I could feel it.
I had to condense it down. There's too much to say about him.
Hey, you have 30 more seconds to say whatever you want to say about the guy. All right. DeMar DeRozan in 3, in 2, in 1. DeMar DeRozan has been a guy who is always there. You may not have seen him. He might always fly under the radar. But DeMar DeRozan has been that guy. Of course, his teams in Toronto kind of got swept away by LeBron a couple of times. But that shouldn't take away from the greatness of DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is almost always an all-star level player. And particularly in this past season, he was second-team All-NBA. He averaged over 28 points a game. He was the best mid-range scorer in the NBA, the lost art in today's league. He is keeping it afloat almost by himself. He attempted more than 200 more mid-range shots than anybody else in the league. And his game is just so smooth. He led the Bulls to their first playoff berth in a couple of years. Not even just play-in, the playoffs. They avoided the play-in completely. And although they got beat by the Bucks in 5 in the first round, DeMar DeRozan was so spectacular throughout the season with his clutch plays, his game winners, and his defense has improved as well on a Bulls team that desperately needed it. DeMar DeRozan. That's my minute.
Okay. Oh, my 30 seconds first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. DeMar DeRozan, yeah, his mid-range game is something special. You don't see a lot of it anymore. His three-point shooting, it's just not there yet. He can shoot it a little bit, but it's not consistent. His defense, it could be better. Three-point could be better too. Leadership, I don't know if he can just lead a team. We've seen in Toronto he led a little bit, but he just could never get over that hump. And then when Kawhi gets traded, him and Kawhi get traded, that team got put over the hump. So I don't know how I feel about his leadership roles right now. I could have said some more.
You kind of set me up. I'm not gonna lie. Rebuttal in 3 and 2 and 1. You want to know the funny thing about DeMar DeRozan that you talk about his 3-point shooting? DeMar DeRozan shot 35% from 3 this past season, which was about league average. You know who was one of the worst 3-point shooters in the NBA this past season? Jimmy Butler.
He don't shoot as many either.
This is my rebuttal. Shut up. DeMar DeRozan is a much improved 3-point shooter, actually. And Jimmy Butler has his games, but he's so inconsistent as a shooter. DeMar DeRozan has that smooth touch, and he's far more consistent in that particular aspect. You brought it up, not me. Time.
I'll take that. I'll take the heat for that.
That's kind of the only W that I could take in that. I had to single that out.
I'll take the heat for that.
Yeah.
Leadership thing is what kind of, I guess, helped me with the Jimmy argument.
Right. There's no way that I could argue that DeMar DeRozan is better than Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. So the shooting, I know Jimmy's worked on it, but it's not. Had to just come up on the fly with that one.
Yeah, I was kind of screwed from the beginning. You need to do your research beforehand, sir.
I just know he's that guy.
I
know he's that guy.
I'm just playing. All right. I'll go back to tier 3 for this next round. I'll go back to tier 3, show the lower level guys some love. And I'll be debating first. I will be debating for Karl-Anthony Towns. Okay. Karl-Anthony Towns. And Jacob will be debating for Zion Williamson.
Ooh.
Interesting. All right. Karl-Anthony Towns. Let me get a breath. Karl-Anthony Towns debate beginning in 3. If I can reset my timer, good grief. Okay, there we go. In 3, in 2, in 1. Karl-Anthony Towns is a guy who's gotten better every single season. He's regarded as one of the best shooting big men in the history of the NBA. Me personally, I regard him as the best shooting big man in NBA history. We've never seen a guy who can hit step-back threes at a good clip like Karl-Anthony Towns can. And while that may not be ideal, the way that he can facilitate and operate from the perimeter is something that we haven't seen before. He kind of brought in the era of the stretch big. He operates in such a unfamiliar way that it draws the slower bigs out to the perimeter. Nikola Jokic has a bad track record against Karl-Anthony Towns for this reason, because he can't keep up with him. We saw teams like the Memphis Grizzlies in the playoffs have to switch their entire defense to cater to Karl-Anthony Towns' perimeter-centric abilities. And like I said, he made the playoffs for the first time this year. Well, for the second time, but this was his real first playoff run. And he held his own for the most part last time. I wasn't too satisfied with that, actually.
All right, I got Zion.
Yeah. I kind of botched that.
See if I can say here. All right, Zion. When healthy, he could be arguably, top MVP candidate. You said so yourself. I think when he was healthy, he was healthy, he had, was it above 50%, I think, from the field? I think
it was 60. Oh, 60. My bad.
All right, there you go. I want to say it was 26, 27 points per game. Athletic, generational talent. When healthy, he could be a problem. Man, that team could definitely be a problem, especially with him leading it. You could say him leading it. Just offensively is there. Defense, we've all seen the blocks he does. His deep snatch balls from people's hands. So I mean, it just improved. His defense improves every year. His offense, well, not every year. He was out last year, but his defense has improved since being coming out of college. His shooting, he doesn't always shoot, but his shooting percentage is up there. Could be up there. He can still need some improvement, but I think his finishing ability, his athleticism, just overwrites everything. He could just be a top talent when healthy. Yeah, it's time. Oh, I kind of botched that one too.
I'm sorry. That was my bad for interrupting. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I botched it. My mind, after a while, I kind of just didn't have much to say. Hadn't seen him, 1 year.
That wasn't that bad. I didn't think it was that bad.
Just seen him 1 year, so I mean, kind of got to go off of that.
I do have my rebuttal though. Now I've had some time to think.
All right. I think while you go, I'll try to think of mine.
In 3, in 2, in 1. The common saying around the league: the best ability is availability. Karl-Anthony Towns has been the moniker for that early on in his career. He has been available. He has been playing games. And with Zion Williamson, of course, we've only seen him play one full season. So Karl-Anthony Towns is a guy who's consistently been on the floor as an all-star. We've only seen Zion for one full season, so we have no idea what to really expect from him. Sure, his potential may be through the roof, but there's so much room for him to be below par to what his standards are also. That's my rebuttal.
Okay. Trying to think of what I could say for Cat. It's only like one, maybe two downfalls, I think. All right. Karl-Anthony Towns. Man, the only thing I see wrong with him is his leadership. He can lead, but not, I don't think it's just up there. I don't think he could lead a team deep in the playoffs. Rudy's there, so that makes up for his defense. His defense isn't too bad. It could use some improvement. Another thing, mental toughness, I'd say. He does complain to the refs a lot when he don't get his calls. He kind of lets some bigger players, like Joel Embiid, for example, kind of bully him a little bit, but push him around. He just doesn't fight back as much. That's my time. 33. This 30 seconds goes.
That was a hard round.
Yeah, it's not really that many downfalls to either player besides availability.
I bet from your stance especially, it was tough to argue that Zion Williamson, who's only played one real season, has had a better career than Karl-Anthony Towns is better than him at this point.
It was just up off the
All right. I think we have time for 2 more rounds. Each of us will get one more pick from what tier we want to debate from. So, Jacob, this is your last pick. What tier would you like to debate from?
I'll do tier 1.
Back up to tier 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jacob will be debating first, and he will be debating for Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Interesting. Jacob will be debating for Kevin Durant, and I will be debating for Kawhi Leonard. Okay. This is a good one.
Am I going first?
Yeah. Take a second, collect your thoughts. We've kind of stacked rounds here, so we've been running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So take a few breaths and just take a quick little intermission, collect your thoughts. Let's breathe for a second. Whenever you're ready.
I think I'm ready. It's my timer. Kevin Durant, one of the best scorers, if not the best scorer of all time. Shoot from anywhere, score from anywhere. He can play defense. It's underrated. It's not talked about a whole lot, but being a 7-footer, being able to score like he does, step backs, drive, dunk, mid-range pull-ups, 3-point pull-ups, one of the best scorers we've ever seen. He can lead the team. We've seen him before in the finals. He can lead a team, scoring-wise, defense, playmaking. He can even rebound the ball for his height. I think he's up there. He still could be arguably the best scorer in the NBA. Like I said, shooting. I'll say his playmaking has taken a step here last few years in Brooklyn, especially with Kyrie. He's had a few more options than he has had before, shooting-wise. I know he's on Golden State, but just the pieces around him, besides 1 or 2 players, have really elevated his game here lately. I think he just give anybody buckets. You know, he want him taking the last shot. He's clutch. He's made clutch shots just against anybody he can score. All right, it's a minute.
Okay.
Now some of these players just got too much to talk about. You just
I know it's hard to choose.
gotta throw it in there.
I've had a second to think though. Now I'm ready. Kawhi Leonard in 3, 2, 1. You think about the complete basketball player. Kawhi Leonard is the complete basketball player. Offensively, he can give you 25 points a night on great efficiency. He can play make. And then defensively, he might be the most complete defender in the NBA. He can guard all 5 positions. He's shown that. With steals, with blocks, his on-ball and off-ball defense is elite. It always has been. His offensive game has caught up is the crazy part. He is has one of the best mid-range games in the NBA. He can get to the rim at ease, and he gets to the foul line, which I think is the most underrated part of his game. He gets to the foul line a lot. And the thing synonymous with Kawhi Leonard is winning basketball. Kawhi Leonard wins wherever he goes. Whenever he's healthy and on the floor, his teams win games. He's the winningest player in NBA history by percentage. Look it up. He is. Kawhi Leonard wins basketball games, and his play always elevates in the postseason. He load manages during the regular season to prepare for the playoffs whenever the stakes are the highest, and he always brings it in the playoffs.
Ooh, that rebuttal. I'm high on Kawhi. Got it? Do you go first on the rebuttal?
No, you do.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. It's kind of hard, especially with Kawhi.
Take a second to think if you have to.
His game is like, It's gonna be hard. All right. Kawhi Leonard, yeah, his defense is up there, arguably the best defensive player in the league, guard 1 through 5. But I think just Kevin Durant, he can score on Kawhi Leonard. Pretty sure. I know Kawhi's defense is, top tier, best defender, but KD is just 7 foot. He can score in your face anywhere. He can just score anywhere, pull up on you, just do anything. He can dribble. He can dribble too. I forgot to mention that. Good handles, that especially for a 7 footer. Kawhi Leonard, his 3-point shooting, I think I need that. I want to see that increase here soon. I know it's probably gotten better since San Antonio. Just outside of mid range and driving in, it's just Kawhi's offense. It could get a little repetitive, I guess you could say. Kind of, we see the same things, which it's not a bad thing, but I just think Kevin Durant's offensive ability just puts him above Kawhi, just because he can definitely give you 30, 40 a night easily. Especially even, if he takes short nights, he can still score a lot. I botched that. I don't know. I can't.
That seemed a lot longer than 30 seconds.
It might have been. I might have messed up. I might not have paid attention.
That seemed like a minute almost.
Yeah,
I might be tweaking. But
I think it was a minute, to be honest. I don't think I hit my timer until late.
That's fine.
You could do however long you need. I couldn't just think of anything about Kawhi. Yeah, I think I hit it way too late, I think.
All right. Kawhi Leonard rebuttal in 3, 2, 1. Of course, Kevin Durant is going to score on Kawhi Leonard. Kevin Durant is going to score on everybody. But we've seen so many times in the past that scoring points doesn't always guarantee championships. The best offensive teams don't almost ever win. It's the best defensive teams. And what does Kawhi Leonard do? He defends, and he is constantly on top 5 defensive teams in the league. That's why his teams win, because they lock up on the defensive end. One-on-one, of course, Kevin Durant is going to score on Kawhi Leonard. But from a team defense aspect, Kawhi Leonard anchors defenses as a forward, not as a center, as a forward. Can lock up on the perimeter and the interior, and it's contagious to the entire team. That's the 30 seconds.
Yeah, mine was a minute. I looked at it. Mine was a minute. I don't know how.
You went on for a while.
I started something didn't feel right. I don't know why I kept going.
It's fine. All right. This is the last round.
One. All right.
And I think I'm going to stay at tier 1 as well, just for the sake of entertainment. I think I'm going to stay at tier 1 as well, just to give the people what they came for.
I'm really hoping I get this player.
We can't clickbait and not give the people what they want. All right. So I will be debating first for this last round, and I will be debating for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I like it a lot. Jacob will be debating for.
I'm really hoping I get this player.
He'll be debating for LeBron. Jacob will be debating for LeBron.
I mean, it's so much you
This
could
is all random, by the way. This is not scripted.
so
This is
much you could
random. This is random.
so much you could say.
Giannis versus LeBron. This is the perfect way to end. I'm
Hmm.
sure everybody is foaming at the mouth waiting to hear this one.
In my mind, I got my
All
thoughts
right.
right.
I think I'm good for this one though. I like where I'm sitting on this one. All right. So I'm ready to begin in 3, 2, and 1. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in basketball. I could stop saying that right there, and I think we could almost all agree that Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in basketball. Defensively, he's a defensive player of the year type of guy. He's won it before, and he could win it almost every season just off of his impact alone. And offensively, he's a freight train. Nobody can stop him. Nobody can stop him running to the rim on the offensive end. He gets to the free throw line. His free throw shooting is much improved. And much like Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo wins. His teams are constantly contenders, even though his pieces around him may not be as good as other teams. He elevates the Milwaukee Bucks to a level that no other team is elevated in the NBA based off his impact alone. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a generational player with the athleticism of a big, the speed of a guard, and the improved shooting. Just all combines to make him such a special player who's still only 28 years old and growing. That's the minute.
Hmm. All right, I got my thoughts together. I think for the most part, it's really you can make a whole video about LeBron or Giannis.
You've got a lot of content for this one, I will say.
Yeah, I got to figure out how I'm gonna try to throw a little bit of everything in there. See, LeBron James. All right.
By the way, at home, don't get your feelings hurt. There's no bias in these.
All right, I'm gonna start my time over. All right. All right, LeBron James, best player of all time, in my opinion. 1-2, 1A, 1B, whatever you want to call it. Playmaker's always there. He's 38 years old. Almost the average, I think, 29 points per game. I think it was really 30. I want to say I rounded up to 30. Man, what could he not do? Defensively, like I said, he's 38 and he's not regressed at all. He might not be as athletic as he once was, but he still can give you 30 or 40 a night maybe. But it's just his athleticism is still there to be 38. He shooting is still improving. I think his three pointer is improving. Leadership. He's obviously took multiple teams to the finals. Look at some of the Cleveland teams he's took. A bunch of almost nobodies almost. He took the Lakers to the championship in the bubble. I think he can, and when healthy, he can take any team to the finals. It doesn't matter who it is. Just his leadership alone will make him go. And 4 rings. I think it's time.
Okay.
It's so much you could say. So much you could say.
All right. My last rebuttal.
So much you could say.
3 and 2 and in 1. You say all these things about LeBron James. These are things from the past. LeBron James is 38 years old, and he currently plays for the Los Angeles Lakers. If he can take anyone to the finals, let's see him do that with the current Lakers team. Because last year, they didn't even make the playoffs. Sure, there were injuries, but I think even at full health, we can all agree that the Lakers are not title favorites. At full health, the Milwaukee Bucks are up there because of what Giannis Antetokounmpo does for that team. The Bucks surrounding pieces probably aren't the best in the NBA. They're not. They have Chris Middleton. They have Drew Holiday. They have some good role players. But Giannis elevates that team to a level that nobody else in the league elevates their team to. That's why he's won the MVP. That's why he's won the Defensive Player of the Year. That's why he is the best player in the NBA. Ooh, that was good. I can feel that one.
Well, that's pretty good.
That was good.
This rebuttal's kind of hard. Damn.
This is the last one. You got to finish this strong. You got to finish this off strong.
All right. All right. With Giannis, the only downfall is shooting. It has improved, but his shooting is not there yet. He's not a consistent threat from outside. You've seen last year that leave him open, he might hit it, maybe. Either hit it or brick it. Either one. LeBron, 38 years old, but he's still getting 30 points per game. What, 9, 7, 8, 9 rebounds. Can still get an assist. He can still lead a team. We'll see if Giannis can lead a team like LeBron does at 38 years old. See if he can still play the way he does. We'll just see how all that plays out over the next 5, 6, 7 years as time. That's kind of
Okay, that wasn't bad.
it's hard to do, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to go against some of these players.
I thought for us to have as little debate experience as we do, I thought we held our own. I thought we did pretty well.
I think this is the first time I've ever done it actually. Like actually
Yeah.
sit and debate.
Formally, of course, we have
Formally,
debates
yeah.
off camera,
all the time.
where we get into it, where bias is involved. But I like that. I thought that was really fun. I like that idea. If y'all want to see more of this, let us know.
I say the time does make what you say. It makes you completely different.
It gets you kind of panicky. You've got to say everything you want to say, and your thoughts are just going 100 miles an hour.
Other debates we can have time to sit there tight, think about it, and talk. But here we got a minute and 30 seconds or a minute. But it just takes so much out of you, like just to think of it right then.
Yeah, I know. I'm winded just from talking fast and as much as we did.
Right.
That was a fun episode. Like I said, if y'all want to see more of that,
or any other ideas y'all got, just leave a comment about it.
Yeah. We have some more ideas on the way. We may start our tier lists of player rankings pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. The season is still a little far out, but we may start looking forward to the next season with the tier list, with some standings predictions and some hot takes, maybe based off next season. We'll see. Just let us know. Like we said, if y'all have anything y'all want to see specifically from us, let us know. That was fun, Jacob.
I enjoyed it.
Close with anything before we sign off?
No, I think we got everything covered. Leave a like, subscribe, tell people about us. Tell your friends about us. That's all I got.
Yep, that was fun. Thank y'all for tuning in as always, and see y'all next week. Peace out.
Yeah.